This is before I went to Provence. This is when I was living in my van. To see the sea and to wake up with the sunrise over the sea and to go to sleep with it. I realized that there are many stories of women that I was longing for, that I wanted to become, like my idols, like Kate Moss or Romy Schneider. But then I realized that they already exist. These stories, their stories, have already been written. There is only my story that has not been written. So I need to write it myself. I need to write my own story, and I need to be me. Since I've been to the Ashram for the first time in summer 2020, which you see here, down there you see the river and the sun shining on it. So since I've been living there, I have never really been back to live normally in Berlin again. After my studies, I finished my master's kind of. I had planned to do my Kundalini Yoga teacher training in Bali in April 2020. In March 2020, my boyfriend at that time told me, in his own way, that I'll probably not be able to go there. I was furious of him saying such a thing, feeling that he played around with my dreams like this. But in the end, it became true. I couldn't go. First, my flights got cancelled. Then the training itself got cancelled. It was supposed to be perfect. And then it didn't happen. Well, I think my story is just one of hundreds of millions of stories like this, which happened when COVID started. But instead of going to Bali, I went to an ashram in France, close to the city of Poitiers. I stayed almost 2 months, and I followed a very disciplined spiritual yoga and meditation practice. When I left, I definitely was a different person. I needed some time to get to know myself, this new me again. The one who lives from her soul at the source of her life. And not just clinging so much to her soul expressions, meaning her art, in order to survive life. Life in the city, life in society. A life lived more from the head. One that I wanted, an intellectual one that I was striving for. And I always knew that it wasn't everything. But with my time in the ashram, I really became conscious on all levels. And this is a still ongoing process. Even if it's extremely challenging to live like this, it's the most precious gift life can give to you. Because it's life itself, pure and raw. The universe unfolding its greatness in my existence, in my actions and decisions. And it's so great that it's not easy to hold in a human body, consciousness, and existence. But again, this is just my story. There are millions of others like mine existing. In October 2020, I came back to Berlin for a few months. I received my master's diploma and, well, I don't know, I survived the first COVID winter, I guess. I don't really know how, to be honest. I almost didn't. I survived because I bought my van in October and started to build the interior in the winter of 2020-2021. In spring and summer 2021, I started to drive with it down south. It became a journey following the sun and following my joy, which became equal. It was a bit wild. I was all alone. It was a jump into cold water. But I felt the happiest, strongest, most powerful, most loving, freest, and most alive I've ever felt in all my life before. And also, I had many moments where I felt lost and alone. I had this big dream. The big dream of becoming a famous singer. And I felt both most far and at the same time closest than ever to this dream. It was a really difficult contradiction to hold within me, also because I couldn't explain it. And I didn't know where I was going. Until I started walking. Just in the moment of doing my first steps, I started to know a vague direction, but not much more. I only had my artist soul who carried me along the way. I spent 2 months in the ashram again with my van until the final closing down of the ashram. Then I moved on. I started recording music in a studio. I created my Spotify account, putting my music on a distribution platform. My God, it was such a big step for me. You cannot even imagine. I don't know why these artist steps on an independent basis feel so huge and so difficult for me. It surely isn't easy for the ones I'm working with, and I apologize on this occasion. I was filming the sea and the sun, the sunsets and the flowers, all these beautiful moments. And then at some point it got too cold in France. And even if I had a professional producer who wanted to work with me on my songs, I left France and drove to Portugal. We wanted to work together in the future, but up until now it still didn't happen. Instead, another producer contacted me to work with me. And this one really came. When I was stuck with a broken foot in northern Portugal, in a place I really don't know how I landed there and why I didn't leave earlier. It was a big lesson for me, but it seemed that I had to go far down into the dark in order to climb up into the highest light after. This scenario happened many times in different ways, but yet comparable. Maybe the ones who are on a spiritual journey and are living their soul path can relate. Since February 2022, I'm working on mantras and songs with my producer, who also became my boyfriend. We were going through many ups and downs and extremely challenging times already in the 1.5 years that we spent together. And we are still in the middle of many hardships that we are facing. Still, I guess for both of us, it's the most beautiful time of our lives. And I really, really hope for a happy ending, or better, a happy outcome and life journey with many miracles unfolding. I believe that the sun will still guide me, even if I'm not living in my van anymore. All these mornings meditating with the sunrise, seeing this, the mountains and hills where the sun was just rising with the fog. It left me in such a peace and gratitude for life itself. And I experienced deep happiness and just a deep connection to life energy. The energy that is creation. And I was looking at every little thing, like this flower here, and just touching it, and I was just amazed by the vulnerability of this little creature of life. It was so soft, and I was just immersing in this endless, incredible beauty that I, with this life, had the great luck to look at and to enjoy and to appreciate with an open heart. That's me. I'm still here. I'm still on my journey. Everyone has his or her own personal journey. It doesn't make sense to compare us with anybody else, because we need to write our own book. We need to go our own way. It's only in us that this person that we are has never lived on earth before. And maybe in the end, your face will become a rainbow. Wish me luck. I'll tell you more